Hey y'all, it's Chris here with Rockin Farm, once again playing the Can I Get Caught Up game. We've been doing really good. I mean, I got my breeding birds out on pasture. We got the candling done in the incubator. You know, y'all have been seeing videos of me trying to knock out projects. I've got pigs that are really starting to tear up pasture right now. It's about 85% my fault because I completely and totally ran out of their minerals, and I have had an impossible time finding a replacement for them. When I go to my local feed store, they have to have a minimum 5,000 pound order in order to put in an order through Purina, and Purina is one of the suppliers where I can get minerals. They can't do anything to get me minerals through Kent. The closest Kent minerals I can find are in Houston. I don't have time to drive to Houston. And when I go to Tractor Supply and I look and I say, hey, do y'all have any hog minerals, especially some that are high in lysine? Bubba over there at Tractor Supply looks at me like, oh, you mean that salt lick block? No, Bubba, I don't mean that salt lick block. I mean minerals that are specially formulated for hogs, especially these hogs that do such a good job of surviving off of grass and aren't eating all this corn and stuff, true pasture-raised pigs. Another reason they're starting to tear stuff up is because it has been unbelievably wet and rainy, and they were already starting to tear some stuff up. But then once the freshly rooted area that really wasn't that bad gets turned into mud, it's a field day for a pig, y'all. I mean, pigs are like 4-year-olds. You give a 4-year-old a mud puddle to play in, they're gonna play in it. The final reason that they've been kind of making a mess in this area I have them in is because I've kept them on that pasture too long, and they've got it mowed down real nice. The only thing that's left in it now is stuff that they just don't want to eat, some of the wildflowers and stuff like that. So I need to get them out onto this A, much larger pasture, B, much shadier pasture because we're coming into the heat, and C, lots of tall grass. So y'all, I'm going to set the camera down. I'm going to do some stuff with the tractor that is probably not recommended, but I don't care. And we're going to see if we can get these pigs ready to haul over here. So sit back and enjoy the show. All right, y'all, so we just ran 656 feet of line. I know that because it was a brand new roll of electric fence wire, which was 656 feet. So we just ran 656 feet of line, and that basically got us halfway around. It kind of brought us right back to where we start. So now I'm gonna go ahead and break out one of my rolls and head back the other way. A few little tips and tricks that I like to use. When you're using these hand rolls like this, then it's just a matter of hanging on to it and walking or driving in your tractor, ATV, or whatever you got. When it's a brand new roll, I like to use this little PVC trick on the back of the tractor. So basically it's a piece of 1/2-inch PVC pipe, and we wire, you know, put the wire about midway, zip tie it on both ends, and then take a little bungee just to hold it back so it don't slide this way. And then you can just take off driving in the tractor, and that line will unroll behind you. Now when I go to roll this back up, when I go to move this pasture or I need the line for something else, I'll roll it onto one of these little hand wheels. Don't spend a bunch of money for these. They make these things like specially designed for electric fence wire. These ones here are off of Amazon, or you can get them at Home Depot. They're designed for rolling up extension cords. They're like $9 instead of like 19 or 29 bucks. So just get yourself one of these cheap extension cord or Christmas light reels, and that's what you can roll your wire up on. I'm mentioning some of this because I actually see a lot of questions on a lot of the forums that I'm a part of. People are very intimidated by electric fence, and you really don't need to be. Basically what we do is we start at one point and we run between two T-posts, and this is actually my gate. So if we come back over here, I didn't even spend money on the fancy gate things. This is one of them, it's designed to go on your rebar posts. So what I do is I just roll it out to where that hook will hook onto my little T-clip here. And this is my gate. So what we'll do is we'll go all the way around on the bottom. And when we get back around to the gate, then we'll loop up to the top. And now we'll go all the way around that way until we get back over to this T-post. Then we'll stretch a line across here and that'll be the gate on the top. After that, we just hook it up to our solar electric charger and the fence is charged. When you run a really long line like that, it doesn't hit real hard, but it hits hard enough for the pigs to know it's there. So what I've run into with my pigs, now I know I'm gonna have to rethink this, okay? And that's why, you know, you always gotta be thinking in advance. When I have a couple of sows in heat and a horny little boar that can see those sows in heat, I can make this fence as hot as I want to make it. It ain't gonna keep them in. They're gonna bust through it. But when you just got a couple of pigs that are just out eating grass and loving their day, I could turn this fence off for a week and they would never even test it. They just get used to the fact that any place I see yellow, I can't go past. As a matter of fact, we have a hard time moving our pigs because we have to convince them that it's okay to come through the opening. All that to say, don't be intimidated by electric fence. We're gonna keep on working here. We'll get back with y'all in a while. So y'all, one of the things that I have discovered during my brief time as a pig farmer is that you can decide where you want their wallow, or you can let them decide where they want their wallow, and 99.9% of the time, it will be in a very inconvenient place. Our solar-powered fence charger of choice has been this IntelliShock 30 from Premier One. And you know, I can't tell you if there's a better charger on the market. What I can tell you is that when it comes to this one, I have no complaints. We've been happy with it. It's done exactly what we needed it to do. It charges the fence, it stays charged. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to fuss with it. I set it up, I hook up the wires, I walk away. I don't know what else you can really ask from a product. All right, y'all, what we're doing here is putting in a scratching post. So pigs they're actually super clean animals, and they kind of like a version of like an exfoliant rub. So what I've noticed my pigs doing is they lay in their wallow, they get caked in mud, they let that mud dry completely on themselves, and then they walk over to their house and scratch all that mud off. So I'm hoping that by giving them a post to rub on, they'll just rub less on their house. I'm not saying they're not gonna rub on their house. If they can rub 25% less on their house because they rub 25% of the time on this post, that lengthens the life of the house. Big. Come on. Zoo. Come on. Come on. wrong way. Come on.
Come on, Chicharron. No. Come on, Chicharron. Look, there's food. No, do not get in the mud, or you're gonna get a bath tonight. Come on.
All right, y'all. So pigs are stubborn. They have a mind of their own. As far as like across pasture, unfenced, if they wanted to just take off running, they could. You know, possible pig moves goes. That was pretty darn smooth. Couple of bananas, a little coaxing from my wife. We got them over here into this new area. So now we've got feed, we've got a wallow, we've got water, we've got tons of shade, housing, a scratching post, and lots of green grass. My hope is to keep these two guys here through the heat. So let me see, we're coming up on June 1st. I'm hoping that they'll spend June, July, and possibly August in here, and then I'll be able to move them to a different place. Now, getting them to stay here for 3 months, it might be a little tough. I'm gonna have to bring in some supplemental watering for the grass, which I've never done in the past because the grass just dies during the summer. We'll have to bring in some hay, I'm sure. But if I can keep them over here where it is shaded and where they can have a cool, watery, shady spot to cool off, that is what is the most important to me. I will supplement their feed if I have to. So I guess this is technically our third or our fourth pig move. It's gonna get a lot more complicated once our breeders get here, and especially if we get more feeders too. These guys go to the processor on October 5th, but we are thinking about getting 2 more feeders like here in the next month that probably wouldn't go to the processor until like January or February of 2022. And we're also looking at getting our breeders here in the next month that wouldn't be ready to breed until like April of 2022. So that's the reason for the 2 extra feeders, is to fill that gap between the time we pick up our breeders and the time they can actually breed. So y'all, Idaho pasture pigs, man, they're a lot of fun. Unbelievable personalities, great dispositions. They're like big dogs. And it seems like the more time you spend with them, the friendlier they are. It almost gets to a point where it's ridiculous how friendly they are. Great pigs, great growth rates, very friendly, not aggressive. And 3 pounds of feed per pig per day, and they get the rest off of grass. You can't beat that. So if you're thinking pigs, maybe Idaho pasture pig is the way to go for you. This was us moving the pigs here on Rockin 8 Farm. Till we see y'all again, be happy and live healthy.